tomorrow is the finals of the Trackmania World Cup, and I would like to make my own predictions on who I think is going to win with you guys. It's going to be a really sick final. If you guys aren't too familiar with Trackmania Esport, it is one to watch, but you gotta get up early. And the finals are happening at, 11:30 a.m. We're doing a watch party. Type 1 if you recognize all the players, and if you don't recognize a player, type their name, and I'll tell you guys about them. I think a lot of people are gonna know Mutta. Deep Fear, also has finished Deep Dip, plays on a steering wheel now, used to play controller. He learned steering wheel in the span of about 1 year, properly. Otak, defending world champion right now, in duo with Bren. They played in the duo format and won the cup. And in the finals last year, Otak and Bren, who's not in the list here, defeated Pac and Carl Jr. So 3 of 4 finalists are in the semifinal this year as well. Carl Jr. is the most winning Trackmania player, the GOAT, 4 world championships, or 5. I have lost count. He's won too many. Binks, longtime legend in Trackmania Grand League, plays on keyboard, cruised through the World Cup qualifiers together with Massa. They were in the upper bracket, didn't drop a game. Epos and Massa played really well in the qualifier. Otak got a spot for winning last year. Carl Jr. won the North American qualifier. Mutta won the rest of the world qualifier. Every other territory except Europe. Pac won the European qualifier, and the others won the World Cup qualifier itself. It's confusing, but know that these are all players that very much have earned their spot through exceptional performances. And a very fun player to look out for, I think, is Epos. Backstory to what this is. This is like a Trackmania major tournament. This is the tournament that decides who from Europe got into the World Cup, 1 spot only, to the best non-qualified player yet. The room here is completely packed with a bunch of Trackmania players. See if you recognize anyone. I recognize the guys up front here in Fastway only. This guy is Tona, who picked a lot of the track of the days. This is Otak, who's in the World Cup final. So a lot of the Trackmania gang in the audience. Prize pool in this tournament was 7,500 euros. And the World Cup prize pool is 18,000 euros. You have, I think, 3 players everyone's familiar with. Binks, Pac, and Epos, and maybe you don't know New Prime, but he really stunned everyone this tournament. I mean, he beat so many high-level players that you'll heard of, like Gurnati, Massa, Ratchet, to make it to this grand final.
He does manage to keep Scar out of it, but Pac has started to build that lead, and Epos,
he's
riding on the coattails.
You might not know these maps,
in the match as well, and he's looking
but you're going to see some insanely tight racing lines. These are very difficult maps, and the World Cup maps will be as well. They had a month to practice for this tournament, and you have really sharp turns everywhere. You have an outside dirt turn here, down the hill, with high speed, and then like the slalom zigzag thing, and a jump to the finish. And it is the 3 players that are going to play in World Cup tomorrow that we see top 3. Different lines. And Binks gets the first time.
Great comeback right there. Great snipe. 10 points.
All keyboard players? No, so Binks is keyboard, Epos is controller, Pac is controller. They play till 140 points. Epos so fast. And Epos started playing the game 4 years ago. Which is so crazy to me. Can you imagine? Can you imagine a kid starting to do mathematics 4 years ago? You've been doing maths all your life, and then they just are smarter than you. Can you imagine like someone starting to play piano 4 years ago? You've been playing for 10 years, and they're passing you in skill. The thing I'm thinking about for World Cup is Epos is really fast. He probably has some of the fastest personal bests across the map pack. Where players like Pac and Bink shine is that they have so much LAN experience, right? Like they've been in grand finals before many times. They have won big tournaments before. Pac, 2016 world champion, and was finalist last year. Like you need to sort of have been in the ring on a stage that big to be able to tackle the pressure. And I wonder if Apples can do that.
That was very you know what? Heading into the wood,
or the others for that matter.
The
like,
shakiness has turned into a full stop into the pole. Pack
because what I think is gonna happen is what tends to happen every year, which is that Carl Jr. defeats everyone.
A bit too much speed, allowing the rest of the players to overtake him. Now, though,
who is New Prime? Honestly, super impressive. I would just call New Prime a couple of day player. He's a really good couple of day player who, for this LAN, this tournament, practiced for a month relentlessly and got extremely consistent and beat a lot of players. Pack is really handsome. He is a hunk of a man. That hunk of a man, Pack, is an esport athlete. Unbelievable. He could be a Calvin Klein model or a pro footballer with a ripped physique like that. This is by far the hottest cyber sportsman to ever grace the esport industry. I think it's hilarious. You kids are talking shit about Pack. You wouldn't say this to him at LAN. He's jacked. Not only that, but he wears the freshest clothes, eat at the chillest restaurants, and hangs out with the hottest dudes. Y'all are pathetic.
Surprisingly,
but I think more than anything in the final, guys, the determining factor is consistency. Consistency and pace, but like if you crash even 20% of rounds against Carl Jr., you probably don't win the World Cup.
Every single one of these turns, Pack does falter a little bit, and it's going to come down to that third line once again.
Yeah,
if 1 in 5 runs you crash, you probably score way less. Great ending by Pack.
On the way to the finish line, it is Pack with pace.
Atpos back-to-back 10-pointers here. Like, Atpos is really impressive. Atpos right now is really impressive. He's a known British beatboxer. Wait, is there a person called Atpos who's a beatboxer, or is Atpos actually a beatboxer? Yeah, that's him. Holy shit. He's also a grand champion in, or supersonic legend in Rocket League. So I'm gonna make my prediction on who wins based on this.
It was Pack picking up the pack to pack. He went 2 in a row here on
and basically who gets into the final.
Early crash there,
double crash.
There, as both Pack and Epos drop away from Binks and New Prime.
Those are, I would feel, quite avoidable too for them. It's so hard though to be that consistent. Is that Epos the beatboxer? Yes. Epos the Nobel Prize winner.
To that finalist spot, but Binks and New Prime following one another, not really finding in and all place to really overtake the other, but New Prime with a better entry into the plastic does allow himself to get closer to Binks, but not quite enough.
Binks on keyboard. There's gonna be... Is it 2 keyboard players? Binks and Paco?
He's caught up to New Prime. Just pure driving. Pure pace. There was no mistake from New Prime, and Pack is back in it. He's challenging Binks. What do you Pack mean? Is in first place.
Binks missed the ice slide.
He's going for the 3-time, and Epos is back too. What's he doing here? How has he made it back? Epos won't catch them, but Pack has won that round.
Okay, that's insane. He won with a crash? So Pack crashes here, loses 0.4, and then from there proceeds to win the round with a time that is only 0.4 behind the world record, basically. So he just full sent. That's absurd. That is absurd. I'm leaning towards predicting for the old names, like Carl Jr. and Pack.
Where was he? What was he? Did he find B for a boost?
Because that is such an example of composure.
Yeah,
like, everyone can crash, the best players will crash on the World Cup map pack. The tracks are so difficult. The best players will crash rounds.
I have a great time. Why am I in 4th place? This time around, Pack is crashed a little bit at the start of the track, and then...
But then not giving up, keeping composure, still driving a good run, it's like, wild.
This time around, Pack is sitting in 4th place.
Epos new generation, right? Like, how hype would that be? There's no greater way to take the crown than beating every established name.
has been driving
like some people will say about the Chess World Championship coming up that, you know, Ding or Ding or Erigaisi. Is it Erigaisi that's in the final? I might be mixing up names. But whoever wins this final isn't the real Gukesh, sorry. That either Ding or Gukesh won't be the real Chess World Champion because they haven't beaten Magnus. Some people will say that, right? But if a player like Ethos comes into the final and beats Pac, beats Carl Jr. at OTAC, you cannot say anything. Yeah, you've definitely proven you are the best. Haven't beaten Tyler 1? Yeah, then you're not the chess champion, that's right. Never heard about New Prime. Can you give a presentation? So, the thing about New Prime, he plays team competitions. He doesn't really play that many, like, other tournaments, like Couple of Days and stuff anymore. But he just practiced for this LAN. Thing about it though is that it's not too important to pay much attention to his driving, because we're looking more at the World Cup contenders. So it's more just to see how Pac, Binks, and Epos do versus one another. Do you think Mudda has a shot to win tomorrow? Yes! And the reason I think so is that Mudda didn't play this tournament. Mudda also didn't have to play the qualifier. Mudda could just practice on his own. And literally no one knows his pace. There was this interesting phenomenon, right? Where the person that won the World Cup quali and the person that was the defending champion could pick their opponents for their semifinals. So that ended up being Otak, defending champion, and Massa, who won the qualifier. And I think Otak picked Mudda, first pick. Because nobody knows his pace anyway, so it's like, either you're good or you're wrong. Maybe jet lag is a factor, I don't know. Mudda traveling from Australia, but I think, like, knowing Mudda, right? Who? He's a player who... Wait, let's watch this round. That's New Prime. No, Mudda's a player who practices so meticulously. He studies the maps not by driving runs over and over again of the full map, but like checkpoint by checkpoint. Looks at all the speed numbers on every segment. Figures out just the theoretical best line a lot of times. Epos finalists. And this is basically also the moment where you understand whether someone handles the pressure. You've got to finalist mode. At this point in a Trackmania tournament, you just need to win one round and you're the tournament winner. All eyes on Epos now.
Not 2023, and we are in rounds.
Yeah, and
missed the no slide a bit,
right now, Epos needing that first place, and
but still good.
That could kind of stop this from happening very quickly would be
Don't think that was the drift he wanted either. A little too wide.
Those free throws, as I like to call them, but that means first place is
oh, but he gets a good gear up there, and the others don't.
For now, New Prime playing spoiler to the Englishman, and New Prime for now keeping the lead, keeping the pace. I
mean, put the camera on the finalist. Hello, production?
From the bobsleigh into the dirt, into the grass once more.
What are we doing?
Leads the way. This is all he needs is one more round win on the XP Evo stage.
Thank you. Okay, that's better.
Just in front of New Prime, he sits just in front of Binks. Can he handle the pressure of these last few?
He knows 01 in his car, right? A finalist.
Wheel to wheel, hand in hand,
New Prime risking. Good line.
As they try to prevent Epos's coronation as the king.
Oh!
And then he crashes. 24, he crashes. He's gone. He won't get it done this round. It's a round win for New Prime.
That's the kind of stuff, right? That's the kind of stuff. And not like, think about this. You're in a room. They're getting louder and louder. 01 on your car. The photographers are literally standing there in your peripheral, ready with the shot, like he's about to win the tournament. You know? The question is really like, if you're in this spot in World Cup, are you able to not get in your own head about what's happening right here? He hesitated this turn around the pillar. And so now another mindset thing happens. Are you able to shake the feeling that you had at all? Are you able to do the ultimate fail and not let it get to you and still drive your best the next round after? Like, Trackmania players typically say the first attempt at finalist that you have is your best one. And then after that, if you crash again, you're just gonna spiral out of control.
With this pressure, with every and all,
this is the one where you're feeling fresh, the first one, right? He crashed the first one.
To the limit to try and beat Epos to the line, and Epos having to conquer his demons, having to go over the nerves. He lost one round barely. Can he do it a second time around?
That's what we're looking at.
It was that tag team of Binks and New Prime chasing him down, keeping the pressure high, so he had to risk and ended up clipping. This time around, it's Pack and New Prime, with Binks having fallen just a little ways
low
away.
wide.
Epos has kept it clean
Still
so
gets
far.
the line low.
There's time to be gained and lost here, and well, it doesn't look
If you
like
get
really
far
much
enough
has
into the
happened.
map
Epos
with
has
good
just a
flow,
little
with your
ways
usual
to
line
push
to
the
see
Pack.
01
New Prime
again.
staying so close to that wall as Pack is edging closer to
Maybe he
Epos.
can do it
Epos, though,
here.
starting
Last
to
couple of
pull
turns,
that
the
lead
drift
back
down the
out. It
hill,
was so close
outside.
in the last round. It's close again
Push
in
in.
this round. Uphill dirt, and then a finish line crashes.
Oh.
Epos has the lead. There's nothing that can stop him.
Smiling.
Now. Epos is your XP Evo 20.
Epos, the beatboxer,
champion.
the modern day Da Vinci,
Emotions coming out,
future
just
Nobel
that
Prize winner,
pressure, the nerves, the
and
build-up
current
to all
XP
of this
Evo
finally
winner.
out there.
Final round of the tournament, basically.
Opportunity. I'm not gonna finish that quote,
Oh.
but he's gonna have to do it right
Small
here,
mistake
right
in
now.
the start from
Binks is there
Pack.
in the way. Binks should be okay for him to overtake. Pack falling behind, and Pack has been fighting so hard to get that spot in World Cup.
He has. He wants it, man.
And the
He
thing
wants
for
it so
Pack, he had a
badly,
round like
but
this
I mean,
earlier, right?
you have to imagine New Prime
Falls
wants it
behind a
as
bit.
well. And at the moment, New Prime is fighting
And
for
then
the spot.
kicks
Took
into
two chances,
a
two
different
opportunities
gear.
for Epos
Oh, Binks crashed.
to book his final
Here we
spot to
go.
lock it in. Now it's Pack versus New Prime. This is it.
Yo, he's trailing by 0.2.
Someone to Paris in 2 weeks' time, and at the moment,
The winner
New
of this
Prime
round
has the
goes to
advantage.
Paris
The
in
gap
top
is a
8.
10th.
He's even further.
To Pack, and they're running out of track. Pack is running out of time.
Oh, no.
He's
Is
this
running
it?
out
Oh,
of
no, New Prime.
opportunities as New Prime has one hill left to conquer.
No, too
One
wide.
hole left
He
to jump
crashes.
through. It's Pack. He's through on the uphill dirt. It's Pack to the finish line. It's Pack going to Paris.
And with that, the joy, jubilation,
Oh, it's... Oh. That is so sad, actually. I didn't know it ended like this.
Pack is running out of time. He's running
No, it's like the mistake Epos had.
out of opportunities as New Prime has
Oh, you know the
one
gap is
hill
crazy. And then he's probably no more than like a few hundredths left on late on turning left here.
left to
But he's already too late. If you look at the difference in line, you see the skid marks. This is the difference between World Cup and not. This approach here to that corner.
one hole left
He
to jump
crashes.
through. It's Pack. He's through on the uphill dirt. It's Pack to the finish line. It's Pack
Wow.
going to Paris.
That's
Evo,
sad.
The other one securing their spot in
But it
Paris,
is
and
also
with that,
experience.
I mean,
Okay, after watching this, guys, incredibly impressed with Epos. Pack and Binks, pretty consistent. I think for Binks, this wasn't the most important tournament. Like, he crushed World Cup qualifiers. And then he was just playing this as almost like a bonus, it seemed like. So let's look at predictions now, okay. Semi-final number 1. Otak, Mudda, Epos, and Pack. Otak, Epos, and Pack played XP Evo. Epos won that tournament. I want to say Epos goes through to the final. I really want to say Epos goes through. I also want to say Pack goes through. But that doesn't make sense, because then you're leaving Mudda and Otak not in the final. It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. It really feels like Epos Pack. But I don't know Mudda's pace. And I know Mudda is a gamer. I'm gonna predict Otak goes through. Like, what am I even basing it on? I want to say Otak Epos. But I don't know. I could be completely wrong. But he did impress me a lot in qualifier. So I'm gonna say Mudda and Pack get 5th through 8. Second semifinal, Musa, Paco, Binks, Carl Jr. Just let me think about this. We have a saying in Trackmania that you shouldn't bet against Carl Jr. because of this. You really shouldn't bet against Carl. And if you're not sending Carl to the final, you need a damn good reason. I'm tempted to say Musa Carl here. It feels intuitive to me. I think it's either gonna be Musa Carl or Binks Carl. And I'm basing it on experience, actually. I'm gonna put Paco in 5 through 8. And Binks. Binks, really impressive. Think he crashed a little too much at XP Evo. If he plays similarly to the final there, he probably won't make it through the match. If he plays like he did in qualifier, I think he will make it through. We have the final. My final prediction is Carl, Epos, Musa, and Otak. So now we gotta think about this. Who wins the final if these were in the final? Dude, it's so boring to say Carl Jr. won. He's so damn good, though. He's so good. Oh, man. Can someone beat him this year? I'm going for it. I'm going for it. Just to not have a boring tier list, alright? Like, sometimes it's better to present something interesting than to be right. I don't need to be right, but I want to believe. Because Appos' story fascinates me. Can I say Carl second? Maybe? This could be completely wrong, and I think everyone's tier list could be completely wrong. Does anyone have spams? So this is such an OG list. Like, look. Carl, Pack, and Massa, you know? 3 of the most experienced players. Appos 4th. Does sound more intuitive. Otak, Mutta, Paco, and Binks out. Like, Carl, Pack, Massa final we could have had 8 years ago, you know? I think they were actually in the final in 2016. Okay, no, that's gonna be my prediction, guys. We'll see how wrong I am tomorrow. Can't wait to cast this with you guys. Can't wait to watch the final. If you guys want to make your own prediction, I will link this website. Please send them into my Discord. Maybe send them on Twitter. Screenshot of your prediction. So, just so everyone knows, the World Cup starts 11:30 a.m. Paris time. But I hope you guys are gonna join for it. I'm very excited to see who wins. I'll cast it all here.